Hey everybody, Joe with Bumlin Acres. Hope y'all are doing well. It is Saturday. Oh, Friday. Crap. Weekend has just begun, and I am on the road a little bit. Had a tool that I've wanted that I've been looking to acquire and found someone that I can go acquire it from. So, went and picked it up, and now I'm on my way back home. So, hope y'all are doing well. Hope this message finds you happy and healthy. I hope your homestead is doing well, and for those interested in homesteading, hope your curiosity is well grown as well. And today we're going to talk, oh, by the way, so grateful to have finally gotten some clippers in, and many of y'all haven't seen me, I didn't even bake my head today, but haven't seen me with short hair. Some of y'all, if you're recent subscribers, this is new to you. My mental picture of myself is still representative of when I was in the Marine Corps. So the beard is not my self picture, even though I've worn a beard pretty much for most of my time since getting out of the Marine Corps, at least like this, where it's real trim and short. I like the 80s, we're talking like George Michael, Bryan Adams, just a little aggressive 5 o'clock shadow look. That's what I prefer. My mental picture of myself, when it talks to facial hair, would like from this spectrum to like static X's with the braided beard. Like, I think I would like to do that at some point, but it's just never gonna happen. Beards get annoying too quickly for me. So, but it actually feels great to be back in the short hair club, to be back with just, obviously I'm very bald. You can tell when I grow hair how bald I am, but it feels great to have it clipped and just, sweat's a little more of a problem when your head is shaved because you don't have nothing to collect the sweat. But I'm grateful to have my hair back to this. Our clippers all broke. We had to wait for some clippers to come in. So that was done earlier today. Feels wonderful. So, but back to what this video is about. I'm going to start and kind of lay some obviousness, some things on the table. I do not homestead full time. I have an income based on where I work that provides me the luxury of our family being able to homestead full time, and my wife to be able to focus on being a stay-at-home wife. We're just getting into our third trimester. We've got obviously another trimester left before my wife gives birth, and we are blessed with a job that allows me the security of being able to pay the bills and get my homestead set up. Our homestead runs in some areas, but it's definitely not firing in all areas. It does not provide the majority, it does not provide everything that we need to eat. And we use my income as supplemental income to take care of debts that we have and things of that nature. It allows us to homestead at a manageable small stress level. Where if our homestead was our only source of income, it would be very, very, very stressful for us. Frankly, we wouldn't be able to do it. So if you're going to get into homesteading, you need to understand that part of the reality of homesteading isn't that you're going to make $1 million. It's just not going to happen. I imagine the most, especially if you do it like we do, where we're really trying to focus on regenerative agriculture, small-scale agriculture. So we're not going to be wealthy, and we're all completely okay with that. I really want the ability to be responsible for my own food, my own lifestyle, and be able to know where my food comes from. That is huge to me. So I will trade material wealth for comfort of lifestyle and comfort of living. But if you're going to get into homesteading, you don't just drop into this. You can't just be like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to start homesteading and buy some land somewhere and just figure it out. It is incredibly difficult. None of this, homesteading isn't the difficult part. The difficult part is that keeping things alive is not easy. Having a garden and having it being able to grow consistently, that's not easy. That's very, very difficult. And all of those things require inputs. And, as you develop and you get better at what you do, you eventually develop the ability to reliably do all these things, to reliably raise your animals, to reliably garden. But in the beginning, example with our garden, we tried putting runner ducks in our garden this year, and we were late getting to the ground this year, and we had a late frost that killed a lot of our tomato plants this year. So we've had to replant or redo, and our runner ducks ate a lot of our garden before we figured out that's what they were doing. We were hoping they would just eat the bugs, but no, they eat everything. So, that's taken out a lot of our garden, a lot of our perennial, a lot of our early planting. We're not going to see the fruits of. The fruits of the planting is in the lesson that we learned from it, and that's homesteading in the beginning. That's what you've got to get used to. The fruits of homesteading is in the benefit of the actual homesteading. Before it feeds you, before it feeds your stomach, it feeds your mind. But honestly, I'm rambled. That's not really what I wanted to talk about. What I want to talk about today is sacrifice, and homesteading and sacrifice. Now, it is important. This goes into relationships, but in homesteading, you're not going, rather than think about how much you can make as a homesteader, it's not trying to make $1 million, raising tomatoes. Though there are people that raise heirloom tomatoes and they're very, very good, and they have market gardens and make a good living. I think that the goal is not to sell something for that amount, to make enough for you through sales. Homesteading is accomplished cyclically through being responsible with how much you spend. It's not how much you make, it's how much you spend. Are your expenses renewable? Are you buying a lot of one and dones? Because if you're buying a lot of one and dones, you're not going to prosper the way that you should. You have to find purchases of value that you can use over and over. You need to find ways to build things on your own, to provide things on your own, so that your operational costs are as low as humanly possible. Because if you keep your costs real low, then your modest gains become exponential. They become so much more valuable. It's not trying to make $1,000 off of selling a tomato. It's trying to make 100% more, trying to make 200% of your costs selling a tomato. That you can do if you control your costs. So that's more important. And that's only possible through sacrifice. Sacrificing of things that you want, sacrificing of things that you don't need but you'd like to have. And I honestly think a big part of that sacrificial relationship you have to have isn't just with what you're trying to cultivate, but it's also with those who you're homesteading with. For me, my wife. I have to sacrifice things for my wife. Obviously, to have a healthy marriage. I'm divorced. I can tell you, I was not very sacrificial in my first marriage. I should have been a much better husband than I was in my first marriage, because sacrifice wasn't in the cards for me, and that was a problem. With my wife, it's about how do I sacrifice of myself for what my wife needs. And I'll be honest, I know my wife reciprocates that back. My wife sacrifices of herself for me. And that way we can rely on each other. We're consistent for each other. And if you're going to be a homesteader, it's so hard to do it alone. And I'll be honest, even those who are doing it without internal help, a spouse or family member, you're still not making it on your own. You're involved in your community. You're getting involved with the people around you. But that's important to me, is homesteading and sacrifice. Don't go into this thinking that, that without recognizing that sacrificing what you want is going to be a huge part of it. Don't be afraid of homesteading. Homesteading is a wonderful, incredible thing. I honestly am so glad for our involvement. And literally, we are just toe in the water. We've done a lot in a year. But compared to where we're going to be next year, compared to where we're going to be 5 years from now, it's going to make this huge distance look like nothing. And that's wonderful. That's homesteading. So, I hope y'all are doing well. I hope this message finds you happy and healthy. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Apparently there's a notification thing. You've got to alert notifications if you want to actually be alerted to when I post new videos of my thoughts and ramblings. So this is about 10 minutes long, so my apologies for the ramblings, but I hope y'all are doing well.